Hello, you're watching Self Reliant India on DD India, and I'm Preeti. In the next 1 hour, we will discuss and explore various aspects. Every day we bring this edition to you, wherein we explore and discuss aspects, of the economy, of the nation, which will help in taking forward and achieving the Self-Reliant India dream. And today in this edition, we will be discussing about the contribution of women, especially women entrepreneurship in the northeastern region. Entrepreneurship is an essential instrument to increase active participation of individuals in any economy. Women entrepreneurs can initiate a range of required changes to society and the economy also. Now, the northeastern region of India comprises of the states like Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland, Sikkim and Tripura. Now, this region is rich in terms of forest wealth, exotic flowers, aromatic plants and other flora and fauna, mineral resources, hydropower potential, etc. Now, the government of India has been making continuous efforts for socio-economic development of this region. There is also a need to ensure engagement of local people in the development process to make the process inclusive. Women in this aspect there are regarded as traditional experts to promote and to achieve a sustainable and a better future. Therefore, one of the valuable aspects of inclusive growth is involvement of women in the development process in an active way. The partaking of women in economic activities not only benefits the economy, but also at the same time facilitates women empowerment. Where are women standing today when we talk of entrepreneurship in the northeastern region? To talk more about it, we're joined in by guests today. We are joined in by Ms. Jahnabi Phookan. She is National President, Ficci FLO. We are joined in by Ms. Aparajita Das Parua. She's founder, Aparajita Brand Handloom. We're also joined in by Ms. Sanjukta Bhattacharya. She is an owner of Orange Oven Bakery. And Mr. Subimal Bhattacharya, he is Northeast expert. Good morning, all of you. Good afternoon, all of you, and we welcome you to this edition of Self-Reliant India. Mr. Bhattacharya, first, I would want you to start the conversation and this interaction. Let us know, where are women entrepreneurs in the Northeast placed right now? How did they begin in the initial years, and what is the status of women entrepreneurship in the Northeast?
Hello.
Women in.
Hi, I'm Sanjukta.
Yes. Hello. Welcome to the show, ma'am.
Welcome. I'm from Assam, Guwahati.
Yes.
I have a bakery. I have a bakery, and my bakery name is Orange Oven.
Yes, I have already introduced you to our viewers. We will get an input from all our guests on the panel. First, we will open this conversation with Mr. Bhattacharya. Sir, I would want you to talk about how are women entrepreneurs specifically placed in the Northeast in the present times. I think we've not been able to establish contact there with Mr. Bhattacharya. We'll try getting him back to him. At this point in time, I'll bring in Ms. Jahnabi Phookan, and she is the National President, Ficci FLO. Welcome to the show, ma'am. When we talk of specifically Ficci FLO, you were the first woman from the Northeast to be the National President of Ficci FLO. I would want you to talk more about specific, efforts or the, efforts which have been made by Ficci FLO. Specific arrangements that have been made by Ficci FLO for women empowerment in Northeast.
Thank you, Preeti, and thank you for having me on your Doordarshan show. I am makes me happy to be the first representative from Assam on a national body such as FLO as its national president. We come with, as the national president, I have worked in our organization for the last 37 years, have been part of the empowerment of women. We've been trying, and our motto is the power to empower. So starting out my year last year in May, and in the COVID times, we stuck to our three core responsibilities, which we feel. So I brought in from the Northeast my perspective on how we would empower women at the three levels. At the grassroots, we spoke about adopting a village. Each of my chapters, we are 17 chapters across the country. And at the urban sector, I spoke about adopting an ITI, that Industrial Training Institute, for each of my chapters. And at the corporate level, we spoke about empowering women to become the women corporate directors. When the country has now mandated that we need women as directors in their boards, they should look to an infrastructure and a database such as the FLO Women. So that was the general thing on which we started. And as for the Northeast, my FLO Northeast chapter, which I was a co-founder in 2007, has been growing from strength to strength. Where entrepreneurship for women is concerned, I would like to first congratulate the Assam Startup, where the Startup India Awards of 2020, which was held in New Delhi, and in the presence of Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad and Piyush Goyalji, Assam has been recognized as the emerging startup ecosystem in India. It had 25% of its startups are led by women, and Assam is one of the leading states in the ecosystem for startups. And this Assam startup organization, under the Ministry of Industries and Commerce, has created a very supportive ecosystem, and they've been encouraging our women to come forward. That has been a very structured way, and I'm very happy to bring this to your notice. May I also add here, besides the work that FLO is doing, another movement which I've been involved in which the US Consulate of Calcutta, under the White House-led initiative called Academy for Women Entrepreneurs, AWE. This project has brought together 150 women entrepreneurs across 5 northeastern states to boost their startup. This is a global program which will help our women to explore not only the fundamentals of business and capital, but to also build a better future for the entire ecosystem. So those are the plus points that I wanted to start this conversation. Women, as we know, in the Northeast play a great role and are in every vertical that one could think of. And especially, I would say, it's the agribusiness, it is education, it is tourism, health, and waste management, which are the key initiatives. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Phookan, you're talking of the different initiatives, the different, measures, or for that matter, different forms of, help that is being, assistance that is being given to the women. I would want you to talk more about specific sustainable, the focus on sustainable livelihood for women's economic upliftment, which Ficci FLO is focusing on. I would want you to talk more and apprise us with that as well.
Thank you. That is very close to my heart. When I took over as a president last year, my focus was sustainable practices and sustainable livelihoods for women's economic upliftment. The way I see it, women are the core, integral part of every vertical, every workspace that we can think about. But their knowledge, their recognition is unmonetized and unacknowledged. With that, we spoke on, so we went about it in a systematic way in the 3 levels that I spoke about. At the grassroots, with the village adoption, we have been able to bring in several inputs, literacy, digital, the wash for the health and sanitation, and empowering women to first build their self-confidence, their self-belief. This is a very powerful tool which we had introduced through our colleague in my ecosystem who had this licensing. It's a licensing of Gap Inc., where women are trained systematically. And with this tool and this certification, they feel empowered to do better. So the answer is not just the skilling. Answer has to come from self-development from within. So we're trying to create this ecosystem and we try to do what is called a training of trainers. So we are creating a sort of a chain of command in every level. And this, I'm very happy to tell you specifically for Northeast, that the Meghalaya government has been happy to take on. And we are now training some 50 villages under the East Khasi Hills and under the Meghalaya Basin Development Corporation. And we hope to do the same in Assam. As for all my chapters of the Northeast and the rest of the country, they have been systematically working with NGOs. That is the way we see forward. The NGOs are working with women-led enterprises and taking the fruits down to the ground. In fact, there's another organization which I'm very proud to be associated with. When we took over last year, first MOU that I signed was with the Women on Wings. It's a Netherlands-based organization who've been working on sustainable livelihoods for women for since 2007 in India itself. And so tying up with them and working on their verticals, such as waste management. They brought in the non-timber farm products, which they work systematically on, agriculture, tourism, and handloom handicraft. And with their help, we are offering their services to all our chapters, pan-India. And I must commend my Lucknow chapter for having been able to take it to a next level with their NGO in hand called Kitish. So there are lots of positive stories that we've been able to spread around the country with this sustainable livelihoods that we are focusing on. And in the Northeast, in Meghalaya, this has started, and I wish to take this forward to my other Northeastern states as well.
All right.
And we are doing all this in COVID times when we were in lockdown and we were working largely online, but in Meghalaya now it's on an online basis. Thank you.
All right, ma'am, you're talking of positivity. Let's take that positivity to our other panelists also. We are joined in by Ms. Sanyukta Bhattacharya. She's owner of Orange Oven Bakery. Ma'am, to begin with, I would want you to, introduce yourself to our viewers and let us know in today's time, you are running a bakery there, you're running your own business. What does it mean to you? And, specifically talking in COVID times, what is it? What does entrepreneurship mean to you?
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Okay, so like for me, I have started this business in the pandemic time, in last year May. So for me, like when I started this business, it was quite difficult for me. First, I started this business with little of cupcakes, cake, and few things like Conti food. And slowly, my venture slowly grow. And now I'm getting very positive response from Guwahati. People know me through Orange Oven right now. See, I have started this business in the pandemic time. Are you listening?
Yes, please continue, ma'am.
Yeah. I have started this business in this pandemic time, and I'm getting very good response from the customers. And it's a small venture. First of all, I never thought that I will give a name called Orange Oven to my venture, because first, in the pandemic time, we suffered a lot, and people in Guwahati, all the food, the restaurants and everything were closed. So that time, it's very difficult to have food from outside. So I started this business to give happiness to the people of Guwahati. So now I'm getting good response from Guwahati.
Which you're getting. I'll bring in Ms. Aparajita Das Barwa. She's founder of Prajita Brand Handloom herein. Welcome to the show, ma'am. When we're talking of, handlooms, we're talking of micro enterprises for women. I would want you to let us know more about your journey. You're running a brand, by your name. What has been the rural women's participation, entrepreneurship and the contribution of rural women? I would want you to speak more on that first. Ms. Barua?
Yeah. Hello, a very good morning, good afternoon.
Yes.
And first, I would like to thank you for creating this platform and inviting me to this DD News program. And I already am feeling the pulse and getting boosted by Madam Jahnabi's all positive vibrations towards women entrepreneurships and all new schemes that they are working. And yes, women in Northeast, they play almost the biggest role because they step equally. Maybe they step 2 steps forward than men, because all the hilly places in Northeast, they are mostly women-driven areas. Whether you take handloom, whether you take handicraft or agro processing unit, most of
Yes, Ms. Barua, I think we have...
specifically driven.
Yes, please continue.
Yeah, and when I speak about my sector, I'm into handloom and handicraft since 2009. And with all the support from all the people from my own place, Assam and abroad, and from my own nation, and with the help of government, we also join many international shows, bioseller meets. So we grab many export orders, and we are successfully doing all this. And due to this support from my family, my place, and government, now I'm expanding my business from handloom handicraft to agro processing unit and hatchery and poultry, because Assam Northeast is blessed place, blessed region where you can, as in the starting only, ma'am, you said, Assam Northeast is blessed by aromatic herbs, agro units, handloom, handicraft, whatever the best nature can give. Whatever the best nature can give, we have been blessed by this all things. So it is our own plan. It is our own expertise. How we can just.
All right. At this point, I'll bring in Ms. Phookan. Ma'am, you spelled out positivity. With what Ficci FLO is doing. But I would want you to talk more about, how are the women in the Northeast placed, in these days, from where they started to this day when the government is promoting Startup India specifically, and also women entrepreneurs are being encouraged. What is your take on, how are women entrepreneurs placed in the Northeast region in today's times?
Yeah, I've already stated that in any sector you will find women. Actually, Northeast itself is a women-driven area. So in 10 sectors, almost in 10 sectors, you will find 7 to 8 women who are leading in those sectors. Whether you select handloom, they are doing their best. Whether you select handicraft, they are all artistically minded. And if you select agro, even myself, I have started my business, expanded my business into agro processing unit, hatchery, poultry, training section. So these are all women-driven area. Yes, we need help of men. We together we are doing. But the thing is that even when we visit some clusters, they are all women-driven force. So we are multiplying, we are using them, we are contacting them. So I am just expanding my group by all those clusters, whether in Meghalaya, whether in Arunachal. So they are very easily approachable, they are very hardworking, and they know how to give the best in less time. So I feel boosted by these clusters who are women driven, and this lockdown has been a blessing for me, because in this lockdown I developed myself with entrepreneurship techniques, courses, and mainly resources, which is the key to any business.
All right, we'll talk about it. Yes, we'll take that forward in the show as well.
Sure.
But I will again put this question to Ms. Jahnabi Phookan. Ma'am, I would want you also to evaluate for us, where are women standing? How are they presently positioned in Northeast when we talk of entrepreneurship?
Well, thank you very much for that question. What I would like to say is that we have found women are resilient by nature.
Yes.
Women are learning to be innovative too. And they've always been hardworking. And I would say in the COVID times, what we at Ficci FLO had been able to also prove to our 8,000 members across the country is that we could still make this work. And we did the best we could, even on the online platform. For instance, what Aparajita has mentioned, we've seen a growing breed of homepreneurs. We've seen a growing trend of homepreneurs, where they've taken to the e-commerce site like never before. And our women are discovering new ways of selling the produce from the Northeast, especially the Assamese jewelry, the Assamese bamboo artifacts, our textiles, our apparel. I think they're getting a very good response. And they're learning to be self-sufficient and work independently. And in flexi time, when you're looking after the home and hearth and doing your business. And I would congratulate the efforts which have been taken by a lot of institutions to make this happen. For instance, when we talk about, I want to briefly also mention what we did from FLO, that we tied up with the GEM, Government E-Marketplace.
Yes.
Well, the GEM has extraordinary reach, and the government has given an extraordinary mandate that 3% of all the goods and services produced in the country must be sourced from women vendors. This is the opportune time for us. And across the country, in my chapter, we've taken this forward. And with the Numaligarh refinery of Assam, they approached us, and we held this seminar for GEM E-Marketplace to be exposed to the women entrepreneurs of the Northeast. And I wish to do this more and more often so that women understand and they come forward. And they must not lose this advantage given to them. They needed to go through a tutorial to understand what seems like a cumbersome process of logging on and becoming a vendor, but it's going to be worth it in the long run. So those are the positives which are happening with the government e-marketplace, and where we are talking about sending the message across and working with young girls coming up the ecosystem. We tied up with the NSDC, with a huge content of matter, ranging from entrepreneurship to doing businesses. We've been able to tie them up to young people on their online platform. So that are the positives. I think we also have to speak. We need to walk the talk.
Yes.
We need to also give them the network. Our job in FLO is to connect the dots. The government has there's great work, but it's all happening in silos. To see that it goes down to the grassroots level or to even the urban level, we need a FLO to make this connect. And I do think we have tried our best going forward on that. Those are the associations we've built up. There's several I can think about who have helped us. And I see in each ministry where I can see that women's work is so undervalued, but it's so much an integral part of. For instance, you wouldn't think a ministry like Petroleum and Natural Gas and Steel have anything to do with women, but they're doing an enormous amount in skilling and upskilling women. When you start as the Ujjwala Didis at the grassroots level,
yes,
we are building up this ecosystem of rural women who can go house to house and teach them how to put on the gas connection. And when you look at even the Ministry of Renewable Energy,
yes,
and you would think, what do they have to do with women? That they are the solar panels. They're the barefoot sort of engineers of the solar panel being fitted in households that being trained. So we're going a next step beyond the Anganwadi workers.
yes,
And that is what the government has been very, cognizant of. And I must congratulate them on the way the women have been the beneficiaries with the direct account holdings, with getting that benefits right into their pockets directly.
Yes.
The plastic waste management, which the Minister Dharmendra Pradhan had spoken about, that the plastic waste gathered in your home from the owner of the home, giving it to her maid, who gives it to the vendor and gets monetized for it. So once the system of that green energy and that ecosystem can be created, we are heading for a great future ahead. It's not coming, everything at one go, but it's slowly we are. That's
all right, we're heading for a great future ahead.
And I must speak very briefly on the sustainable practices that I started off with. And my chapter chair of Bangalore, Jyotika Kalra, who's a muralist, she gave us some amazing murals only on sustainable waste. And that is today up in the Delhi Terminal 3, that is up in Bangalore Airport, and that is up at Bhubaneswar Railway Station. In fact, the railways have tweeted about it, and there's a press release which I could have shown you on.
Yes, you rightly said that it is the network. It is the network that is to be, put in place.
Yes.
We'll talk more about it, but at present we're heading for a very short commercial break. You are watching Self Reliant India, and we are discussing women entrepreneurship in Northeast India today. We'll be back after a short break. Stay with us.
A global pandemic that's causing havoc worldwide. Search for an effective vaccine is on. Until then, the only option is caution and prevention. Now that the country has opened up under Unlock 5, it's all the more critical that we don't let our guard down. Face mask has been found to be the most effective means to fight the spread of COVID-19. World Health Organization and various researchers have also found that masks are critical in mitigating the spread of COVID-19. When you wear a mask, you protect yourself and people around you. Wearing a face mask helps prevent the spread of COVID-19, but only if worn properly.
बिना मास्क या फेस कवर के घर से बाहर निकलने की अभी कल्पना करना भी सही नहीं है.
Be a part of DD India campaign. Mask Up India. Come and join our initiative to fight COVID-19. Share your stories of masking up with us on Facebook and Twitter.
Mask Up India.
It's a simple task. Just wear a mask.
Mask Up India.
Mask Up India.
Mask Up India.
Your window to rising India. India's voice on global platforms. Latest news from India and around the world. In-depth analysis of global headlines. Watch DD India in your country. Available for downlink in all Southeast Asian countries. STTV broadcast is available through the satellite GSAT 17 at 93.5 degrees east. HDTV broadcast is available through the satellite GSAT 10 at 83 degrees east. For technical details, scan here.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching Self Reliant India, and today in the show we're talking about women entrepreneurship in Northeast India. Where did the women begin from and where are they presently placed? We're talking about this with our guests. We're joined in by Ms. Jahnabi Phookan. She's National President, Ficci FLO. We're also joined in by Ms. Aparajita Das Parwa. She's founder, Aparajita Brand Handloom, and Ms. Sanyukta Banerjee. She's owner, Orange Oven Bakery. Ms. Phookan, I would want you to talk more about it. You know, we are in times when startup India is being encouraged. We are at times when vocal for local is being encouraged. We are also, you know, witnessing how the government has been laying emphasis on contribution and encouragement of women. Now, put all this together, I would want you to, you know, specify for us how has been, you know, the taking forward of the ideas, of the initiatives of the women on the forefront by the government. The contribution, the cooperation by the government also plays a very important role. So, you know, I would want you to talk more about it for women who wish to start something, who have that, you know, that zest to start something. How do they go about?
Thank you for that. We have found in our experience is that with FLO, which I introduced, is the FLO Mentorship Club. Women are great mentors, and successful women will take other women along. The more women you employ in your company, the more she will see that she employs more women into her fold. The more entrepreneurs we create, the nano entrepreneur. Let's talk nano here. She will also see that she creates more women around her. So it's a very sustainable value chain which is possible once you empower. And for women, when they train, they take, as you know, the whole community along. So on every level, every aspect, we found this to be true. So when we started the FLO Mentorship Club, let me tell you that, when we mentor there, we have 8,000 women in our fold, as I said, nationally. And this mentorship cell, very ably led by my immediate national head, she has actually got a tie-up with Virginia Tech of US. And then we have, in a controlled manner, being able to create cohorts. So these are cohorts of certified women mentors who will reach out. This is in 1 year. In 10 months of my tenure, we've achieved this. So beyond this, we hope that we will be in a position not only to mentor women who are startups, women who are established entrepreneurs, women who are budding entrepreneurs, to be able to mentor within FLO and beyond FLO. So we are trying to create this enabling environment. We also have another cell, which is the incubation cell, where women who were floundering during the COVID times and despairing, they have found the way to hang in together and work together. So these same ecosystems should go out beyond, the FLO sort of umbrella, which we are hoping to. And those, I think, are the keys to that. The government has given us a vast ecosystem. They've recognized the right for women. They know, and it really is the time for women. There are no excuses. They have given enough and more onto our plate. It's up to us to take it there. We've talked enough of challenges. Let's talk about the possibilities. The enabling environment has been created. So if you now see, according to the Bain and Company report, which was entitled Women Entrepreneurship in India, Powering the Economy with Her, they spoke about women entrepreneurs in India can generate 150 to 170 million jobs by 2030, which is more than 25% of the new jobs required for the entire working population. So it's recognized that when you empower women, it's no longer just a right, it's no longer just a human right, it's an economic right and best for the country. We know that if we look at the data of the circumstances now, in present times, that as per the directors of the startups are concerned, as directors of startups, we have close to 38% are women, and about 58% of women entrepreneurs started their businesses between 25 to 30. About 25% started the businesses even before turning 25. And today about 71% of women employ 5 or less people. And about 73% of women entrepreneurs, they have a revenue of about 10 lakhs in a financial year. Right now, women own, say, 20% of the micro enterprises, 5% of small enterprises, and less than 3% of medium enterprises in India. So if we are able to add, say, even 20 percentage points more to the women labor force, India's GDP will go up by more than $1 trillion, which is the figure has been put out. But so essentially, the fact is recognized as never before.
All right.
That women are here to stay, and women must take opportunity of the system and find their way through it.
All right. I'll take that forward to Ms. Sanyukta. Ms. Sanyukta, you said that you started your business during the COVID times, and you are in fact a homepreneur. I would want you to talk more. What were the inhibitions when you started with? Because Northeast is one region wherein the economy is thriving with the efforts of women. So how do we take that forward, in the sense that when we talk of untapped talent of the women in the region, what are other avenues as well? And specifically talking of the way you started, what were the inhibitions? There must have been concerns for competition, there must have been concerns for skill development, and further taking forward your business. So put all this together, let us talk about your journey, let us talk about from where you started, and how is it progressing? Yes, Ms. Sanyukta? Ma'am, I would want you to first check if your device is on the unmute mode. All right, I think there is some problem. We've not been able to establish contact there with Ms. Sanyukta. I'll take that forward to Ms. Aparajita. Ms. Aparajita, I would want you to talk more about it. When somebody, especially a woman, talks of starting own business, what are the challenges that are being faced specifically? And, you are into handlooms. We were talking of the efforts which have been put in by the government. How important is that aspect also? And also when we talk of specifically the handloom industry, the women in the Northeast have a massive contribution to the handloom industry. Talk more about it, and also how important is training in this industry, because I'll quote this Small Industries Extension Training Institute that was set up in 1962, and from there it was later converted into National Institute of Small Industry Extension Training, and finally it became the Center for Indian Institute of Entrepreneurs for the region in 1994. So how do women get to know, and how do skills can further be enhanced through training? Talk more about that as well.
Yeah, thank you. So when we women we get the idea that we must start something. Let's start an industry, or let's start a micro enterprise. The basic problem is that they don't know how and when to start, and how to the proper documentation. But nowadays, women are smart. Women are specifically not just smart. I'm sorry if I'm wrong. And they know where to approach. So there is a small suggestion. When a woman, they get an idea is just manifesting, then they must approach local district offices, local industry offices, and MSME is a must. And district industry offices, all the government offices, they give us the idea, like these are the documents you need to fill up, you need to get before starting an enterprise. So documentation should be proper. Then there comes banking sector, and everybody is ready to help actually. Thing is that people never approach. And nowadays, mentors are available, just like Jahnabi ma'am said. So proper mentorship, earlier it was a big problem. Now mentors are available in each sector. So using them, by getting help of them, after providing all the information with proper documentation, so one can start an enterprise very easily. Second option, presence of your business. We must let people know. We must let our cluster, our clients, our audience, our viewers know what we are going to start before starting, what we are producing after starting, and what is all about our business. So both offline and online, we must present our brand, we must create our brand, and we must show off our brand. And next, all schemes are available specifically for Northeastern women by Central Ministry, Government Ministry. They are providing. Just the thing is that the lockdown period was a bit tough. Still, traveling is a big problem into some of the countries. But earlier, it was 100% subsidy was provided before lockdown to Northeastern women entrepreneurs, so that we can get to and fro. We can join international exhibitions, buy or sell our meets. Twice, all expenses were borne by government. So this is the biggest help a government can provide, whether it's ministry, central ministry, or state, especially to Northeastern women entrepreneurs. And second, Startup India, Startup Assam Nest, which is boosting all the women entrepreneurs. They are just inviting, let's start something, you do something, we are all here to help you. They are creating websites, they are helping you all in all legal documentation areas, mentorships, and to get the finance from banks. So startup is helping us a lot. And all the NSIC, National Small Scale Industry, MSC, MSME, Micro Small Medium Enterprises. So everybody is helping us. All the thing is that they don't approach. So we must approach government. We must approach all organizations. What effort? The man was right. Everything was enough was put on our plate. The thing is that how we can take the best use of it. And online presence of your brand. This is a must. One must be very active in presenting own brand to all the online customers, whether it's in social media or maybe through electronic media. The show must go on. This is my own faith. Whether it's lockdown or any circumstances in future may come, but the thing is that how we can see the possibility of that area, because we adding resources is a must in any businesses. Even if it was lockdown, I added resources. I gave my time to resources, whom I can contact more, what are the clusters can be contacted more, what I can do after the things are normal, situation is normal. So time management and contacting your resources, expanding your resources is a must. And one point that women, as a woman entrepreneur, I feel we should give importance to all this taxation chapter, contacting the perfect, correct CA, then doing our taxations regularly, seeing what are the new updation is there in our business sector. And ma'am, as you said, handloom, yes, Northeast is blessed by very vivid, colorful handloom products, handloom designs, motifs in all regions. Into a, in a big region, there are small tribes. So all tribes have their own beautiful motifs. So we are blessed with vivid colors, vivid motifs. So we must upgrade our products also. Apart from creating sari, mekla chadar, or only those kind of dresses. Now, yes, we are upgrading also. Northeastern women are upgrading to home furnishing, which are globally sellable products. So we must upgrade our product line, not only keeping one line stiff. We must upgrade, we must multiply our designs, so that if we visit in an international buyer seller niche, we cannot sell sari that much. But what we can sell stoles, skirts that I was doing. We must sell, we must create home furnishing, because our fabrics are very unique, very uncommon, very intrinsic work. They are appreciated all over the globe. So we must enhance our product line. We must give emphasis how to create, add more product line in using that same handloom. So there is many scope in handloom apart from creating all that common saris, mikla chadars. We must multiply our product level. That I believe and that I'm doing now. Thank you.
All right, we are talking of the prospects of the avenues of women entrepreneurship in Northeast India. We are heading for a short break. We'll be back in a short while. You're watching Self Reliant India. Stay with us.
To Rising India, India's voice on global platforms. Latest news from India and around the world. In-depth analysis of global headlines. Watch DD India in your country. Available for downlink in all Southeast Asian countries. STTV broadcast is available through the satellite GSAT 17 at 93.5 degrees east. HDTV broadcast is available through the satellite GSAT 10 at 83 degrees east. For technical details, scan here. Switch to DD India now. Your window to Rising India. India's voice on global platforms. Latest news from India and around the world. In-depth analysis of global headlines. Watch DD India in your country. Available for downlink in Middle East countries. STTV broadcast is available through the satellite GSAT 17 at 93.5 degrees east. HDTV broadcast is available through the satellite GSAT 10 at 83 degrees east. For technical details, scan here. Switch to DD India now.
Welcome back after the break. You're on DD India. Today you're watching Self Reliant India and we're joined in by guests. We're talking about women entrepreneurship in the northeastern region. Ms. Sanyukta, before heading for the break, we were talking of different avenues for the women in Northeast. And since you're a homepreneur, I would want you to talk more about how important is financial inclusion of women in the mainstream. You started the venture during pandemic times. And taking it forward, the government has laid elaborate emphasis on financially empowering the women. How important is that aspect in further strengthening entrepreneurship?
Hello.
Yes, Ms. Sanyukta.
Yeah, first of all, I struggle a lot. But I want to thank all the social media, because what happened during the pandemic time, I just made some few cupcakes and I have delivered, I have just posted few cupcakes in the Facebook. Then I started getting orders from social media. So I want to thank you to the social media, because through that I got success, because I didn't give any advertisement, but I have just posted this few cupcakes in social media. And now I am thinking, since I have got success as a home baker, now I'm thinking to give training to the people of Assam, the underprivileged women, by giving them baking training.
Okay, so you were digitally aware and that was what worked for you. Ms. Phookan, I would want you to, further talk about what is the vision ahead when we talk of Ficci FLO, focusing on sustainable livelihood for women's economic upliftment. What is the next on the agenda?
Well, I must tell you that taking forward from what we started doing at the village adoption, what we call the VAP, we have been approached by an institution from organization who's come forward to also take up this village theme. And we're working towards 75 villages for India's 75th year next year. And on that, we are doing on every level. For instance, they're training on mushroom cultivation, vermicomposting at the grassroots level, to that literacy skill, to the education app, where women are trained on every level, to the wash and sanitation that I spoke about. These are all going to be working towards empowering our women and towards rebuilding that sustainable livelihood we've spoken about. That our take is that we are trying in FLO and to send the message across that we are no longer waiting to be job seekers, but to be job creators. And within our own ecosystem of every part of this vast, subcontinent that we call India, there are so many, there are too many items to name. In our own rich Northeast, we are blessed with nature. And I would like to talk about this story about the Tamil Plates enterprise, which was taken up by an organization, where from the areca leaves falling around you, they have been able to get the machinery, get the local NGO, get the local ONGC's help, and put up this plant, this simple machinery where we are converting those fallen areca leaves into biodegradable flatware, foodware, which are now being exported. And that can be the same story for every sustainable product around us. On this, when we talk about the small tea growers, for instance, there are a lot of women who are in this field as well. So those are the livelihoods which they are being able to generate from their own backyard. And all we need is that in horticulture and these agribusinesses, if we are getting the right tools to reach out, we are going the right way. And I must also mention the government's efforts in the self-help group, the SHG movement, which started, and supported by the state rural livelihood missions. The only level we seem to be now coming to a plateau is about the market linkage.
Yes.
Scaling up, that is the challenge. We are all being able to come up to that very micro nano, but to get on to the next level, that is what we are all cognizant of these problems, and we're all trying to work towards that. How do you scale up to the next level? Which is why more and more organizations like Startup India, that AWE that I mentioned,
yes,
and another one which had a collaboration with the German one, GIZ, with Her and Now. That was also a program that they have taken up in the Northeast sectors and picked on select entrepreneurs to nurture them. So these are slowly, with the private organizations are also coming forward with the chambers such as ours and with the government's help. We will see, we are getting to see a more better and empowered future for our women.
All right, such detailed conversations with our panelists, I'm sure that would encourage a lot more entrepreneurs in the Northeast region, and not just from the Northeast, but all across the country. We are approaching towards the fag end of the show. Ms. Aparajita, I would want you to very quickly let us know your closing comments, inspiring stories to see. And you've also told how you started from the scratch, and today you're here with a brand of yourself. What next is to be done, or for that matter, entrepreneurship in the Northeast region for women looks promising? Further promising?
Further, very further, and very strong. I can see, I can get the vibe, and if I say about myself, my brand, then I can see my brand getting listed as IQ in another 3 years, and we are working really hard for it. And when I am doing, I am alone, I am together, getting my steps forward with many clusters of women-driven. So not me, it's not only my story, it's a story of a cluster of women. So I'm hoping for the best, and I'm pretty sure about it. We will shine higher.
All right, you will shine higher, and we also wish you the best. Ms. Sanyukta, very quickly, your closing comments for women like you who want to start something.
I want to, the women who are still thinking that they want to do something, I just want to tell them that come out and do and show it. I just want to tell them this message.
All right, so come out and, walk the talk is what all our guests on the panel have advised.
And government is there to help. So if they have any question, I think they can go, and there are lots of startups, and they can just have an inquiry with them. And I want to tell another thing, that now I'm going to start the baking classes. So if someone wants to join, they can join and they can contact me.
All right, so efforts of the government also being recognized here. So the atmosphere entrepreneurship in the country has been revived by the efforts. And on that note, we will thank all of our panelists for joining us this afternoon on Self Reliant India. Thank you, Ms. Phookan. Thank you, Ms. Sanyukta, and thank you, Ms. Aparajita, for all your inputs. So those were powerful women talking about the journey which the women have witnessed in the Northeast when we talk of starting their own ventures, when we talk of entrepreneurship in women, and all three of them echoed how promising it is. On that note, we'll end this edition of Self Reliant India here. Thanks for watching.